That's Lit with me, Shazzy G, and today's show is going to be epic. If you are a fan of musical theatre, then you are going to love my next guest. She is a triple threat: singer, dancer, actor, and just all-round superstar. And she's currently starring as Tina Turner in Tina, the Tina Turner musical. It's Ruva Ngwenya. Ruva, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. It's my first podcast.
No. Oh, I'm honored. I'm so honored.
Me too.
Look, so let's take it a little bit back because I understand you, back in high school, did a musical with the song River Deep, Mountain High. Is that correct?
Yes, we were doing a musical about another artist, and within that storyline, River Deep Mountain High makes an appearance, and the drama teacher at the time said that I was cast as Tina Turner, and I was to sing River Deep Mountain High. This was at 15 in year 10. Um, and so I was like, oh, cool, got mum's leather skirt, some of mum's fishnets, and I was out there as Tina Turner at 15 singing River Deep Mountain High. And that performance was massive for me because at the time, it kind of went viral around the schoolyard. And everyone said, you got to watch the school musical because Ruva sings and it's great. And it really catapulted me into performing, and I ended up moving schools and moved to an art school after that and really focused in on my singing. So that was a huge moment. So it's kind of like I went full circle. I sang Tina then, and now I'm singing Tina again.
Now look at you now. It was meant to be, I reckon. Meant to
Yeah,
be.
meant to be. It feels like that. Yeah.
The musical itself, so it kicked off about May, is that right, in Sydney?
I mean, I'd been rehearsing and preparing for it since December before then. So that December up until May, it was a lot of training going in.
I saw the musical, absolutely loved it. It blew me away. I have not seen a performance where I have just been fully immersed like that in such a long time. This was like top tier. Me and my sister were like getting up, dancing as well. I don't want to give too much, too much away for those who haven't seen it, but it's incredible.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, it's so amazing that I get to do that every day. And it is a journey, I don't want to, yeah, like you said, don't want to give it away for people who haven't seen the show, but it really is a journey. Once that curtain goes up and the story starts, we take you somewhere else, but then where we end is so euphoric and it's so joyful. So, yeah.
Can you talk about how you're able to keep that energy, keep that focus? Because you're up on stage for something like 3 hours, is that right?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours. There is it's a mixture of adrenaline, show fitness because you do it every day, and technique and professionalism because it's also takes a bit of skill to be able to sing like that as much as you do for 2.5 hours every day and to use your body that way. So when I say technique, I'm talking about things like, engaging your core when you're dancing, not just flopping your body around and throwing your body around, but really holding yourself and engaging your muscles and breathing deeply and taking clear breaths, and being intentional about where you talk or where you scream. So in the dialogue, don't just scream, but really use your stomach and your breath support to get the same effect, but in a safe way that you can do over and over again. So it's kind of a combination of all those things, but there's definitely adrenaline in there because some of that stuff, I don't feel like I could do it right now. Like if you ask me to do it, I feel like it can only come out in a certain state of intensity and emotion and adrenaline. So it's a mix.
And what I love is that you really do go through kind of some key moments in Tina Turner's life. And, there's emotions, a roller coaster of emotions that goes through with that. But also, of course, her iconic music is throughout the musical. Do you have a favorite one of her songs?
Well, I have a couple. So definitely River Deep Mountain High for reasons I said earlier about high school. And when I sing that, I feel really grateful, and just it reminds me of that feeling I had when I was 15 singing it. So that's definitely one of my favorites. Um, and I definitely would say Proud Mary, just because it's so iconic and it's so fun to sing, and you just get to let loose, and the choreo is just so cool, and you're on the mic, and I'm in a cool costume, and it's like my Beyonce-esque diva moment.
I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I like that song too. Actually, look, let's be real, it's my sister's favorite song, Proud Mary. So I'm glad you also like it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's iconic.
I do also want to say, first of all, rest in peace, of course, to Tina, because this year was, very sad for, her family and her fans. Is it true? So correct me if I'm wrong, but a bit earlier before production started, did you actually get like her blessing?
Yes, it was so special. I got a official statement from Tina herself that was written by Tina, and it was not only to me, but it was to the entire Australian company. And the message pretty much it opened with saying, she loves Australia, and she does have a very strong connection with Aussies, and she's come out here many a time touring, and we love her out here with Simply the Best and the NRL and all of the connection that she made with Australia. So it was really like um, a letter of gratitude and support for us putting on the show for her, and saying that she's really happy that we're doing it. And she signed it off by saying, and I know that Ruva will bring her own soul and her own charisma to the role of Tina, and your Tina is yours to do as you will with it. And to get that kind of a message was just so incredible, and it really took a lot of pressure off my shoulders, because it made me feel like Tina Turner herself has accepted me as I am and what I bring. And it's a thing of marrying the icon and the essence of who Tina is with who Ruva is, and bringing them together and creating a performance that people will love and connect with, that feels genuine and feels real.
I
Yeah.
love that. What an incredible thing for her to do too, to like personally write that for you guys.
Yeah, when I read it, I actually cried. I was like, is this for real? Like, Tina Turner wrote my name. Like, she knows who I am. An
That's huge.
actual legend. Like,
Yeah. I'm just thinking like your inner child, like from where you started to like now. Oh, top tier. Speaking of the NRL, you actually performed, didn't you? You performed.
I
What was
did.
that like?
Oh my gosh, the NRL. I was so scared. I'll be honest. I was fearful, because it's the biggest stage I'd ever performed on in my life. Because not only was it 100,000 people in the stadium, there was the million people watching on the TV. And like, people don't get it. Like, it's not an arena, where an arena is, I don't know, maybe like 50,000, 25, 50,000. A stadium is like the biggest you can get. So some pop artists don't even play in stadiums. You get a lot of the rock acts who do that, who can pull those kind of crowds. That it's very unusual for artists to play in stadiums. They have to be extraordinarily popular. So it's not an opportunity that comes to many musical theatre performers, as you can imagine. So I was very much like, oh crap, like this is really, the pressure was on. And I remember on the day I had like dry mouth, I was shaking, the fear was there. But the minute that the music started in my in-ears and we got to going, I just ticked it over into work mode, into passion, into fun, into what I've been doing for the past 25 years. So it was, it's a moment I'll never forget. I don't have anything to compare it to. It's just was amazing. It was definitely a bucket list moment.
Oh, great.
But it was scary.
Scary, but you did it. You nailed it. You sung, you performed, and now you can add another thing to your bucket list that can just like top that, like just always bigger, always better.
It's yeah, it's not common that you see that, especially with musical theatre performers in Australia, to get those kind of platforms. So it was really fun. Oh, I want to do it again.
Good. Well, I hope you get to do it again because look, when you look like you and I, the opportunities for us to, get up there and really show all the amazing work that
Yeah.
yourself you've been doing is incredible. And it's a good honor that you got to do it.
Thank you. Like I am very honored, and like you said, like it's very far and few between. And I hope that yeah, it's inspiring and it invites other young girls like us to embark in the arts in a in a career or a hobby or education in the arts because there's stuff out there for you. That's what I hope it does for them at least.
Yeah. Can you talk about, I guess, the next stage? Because now that, I guess, right up until December is the Sydney leg of the now tour. It's going off, I think it's going Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, and Melbourne. Are you excited to be touring around the country with the musical?
I am. I am so excited. I've been on a couple of tours before. I toured with The Lion King, which was my first ever tour, and that was a really special tour, and has a great spot in my heart. But it's really cool to be taking this show on tour as a lead, who is the front of the show. It's quite an honor, and I'm excited to go to different audiences and different cities, and I hope that people out there get to see it and again, we get diverse audiences coming through. We're going to Adelaide, we're going to Perth. I know there's a lot of Africans in Perth, so please, y'all, better come and support. But I'm excited to take it on tour, and it feels like a working holiday. I'm gonna be staying near the beach where I can and seeing all of these beautiful states. I'm excited.
Yes, you heard that. All the other states, I know right now we're in New South Wales, but all the other states, come on, come, go support, go and see the show.
Like I'm from Melbourne, so I know my Melbourne crew will show up and show out. But when we hit Brisbane and Perth and Adelaide, they're not cities that I frequent a lot. I'm not really from there, so I really hope that a lot of people come out and support, and I get to meet a bunch of new people when I'm out there.
Go and get tickets, people. Like, honestly, get a ticket. Christmas is coming up. If you're thinking of something to get, go and
Yeah.
see the show. Get tickets.
Yeah, I really guarantee that Black audiences will love this. This is a Black story, Black bodies on stage, Black singing, Black voices, Black music. It's us, It's a representation of us in its most rawest and real form. When I get out there, and any of the girls who play Tina, when we get out there, we give it everything we have. We don't hold back. It's not cookie cutter and it's not apologetic. It's real, and I feel like a lot of Black people can relate to what they're going to see on that stage, and so it's a rare opportunity to see yourself on an Australian musical theatre stage.
Now, switching gears a little bit to your own singing career, you have recently released your own single, Strawberries.
Yes.
Wow, that visualizer is
You see,
Please tell us about it. Tell us the inspo.
I filmed that in this kitchen right here. Where I am right now. I filmed it here. The song it's kind of like a diary entry of my experience on the dating apps. um, I was having a time on the dating apps, and I thought this is actually really funny. Like some of the wild messages I'd be getting, like you look sexy like Oprah, and I'm not even joking. Like I got an opening message that said that, and I was like, this is not normal. um, and I guess it's tongue in cheek in just a nod to the dating experience as a Black woman, and what it's like to put yourself out there and the kind of wild messages and I guess microaggressions that you can get. And even though the song is very funny and it's light and cheeky, the undertone is actually quite real and it's quite serious. And it's about dealing with love and dating as a Black woman in Australia on the apps and how hard it can be to find that connection. And the visualizer for me, overall, it's about loving yourself and finding value in being you, and you're the queen of your own castle, and love will find you. But until then, keep your standards high.
Yes.
And you keep chugging along, living your best life, ladies. So that's kind of the message of the song in the background. But I wanted it to be playful and light and easy to listen to. I'm actually really proud of the song. I really love it. And it's part of a bigger project. So it's kind of like the teaser to something a lot bigger with a lot more themes to it. So yeah,
Ooh, I'm
stay tuned.
excited. Okay, make sure you keep us posted.
100%, 100% I will. But at the last minute, I was like, I want to do a visual for this song because it's cute. And I just had this image of me eating like a bunch of strawberries and making a milkshake.
Performing musical theatre, was that always something that you wanted to do growing up?
Was performing always something I wanted to do? Yes. And it was always something I did do. I loved sport growing up. I played a lot of netball
Yeah,
and
same.
volleyball. I even went to New Zealand to play volleyball. Like, yeah, like I was really, really into my sport. But I was always singing. Like I would always walk to school singing. My whole neighborhood knew me as the girl who's always singing down the street. Um, and singing was always like a little party trick that I could do. So, at lunchtime people would be like, "Oh, sing remember like Work It Out, Beyonce, the Austin Powers song?" They'd always be like, "Sing that, you're really good at singing that. You sound exactly like Beyonce." And it was kind of like this party trick. But then it was like, no, I actually just am good at singing. And I was mimicking the Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey's, Destiny's Child. I just loved music. So I don't know if I had formulated in my mind that I wanted to be a musician and a performer. It was just something that I always loved. I've always loved music growing up. It was just, I even remember the Spice Girls. They were the first girl group that I was obsessed with, and I would replay the tape over and over again. Mum says memories of me in kindergarten. They'd put the music on at kindergarten, and everyone would be running around playing, and I'd stop what I was doing and just start jiving. So it's always been a part of who I am, but I don't know that I had the intention of being a actual performer until high school years.
Mhm. And that was
Yeah.
in Melbourne, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then I moved to Victorian College of the Arts Secondary School for year 10, no, for year 11 and 12. And that's where things really like I was around, prodigy violinist kids and ballerinas. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a musician and really went in on it.
Can you talk about, I guess, maybe some tips or some advice, particularly for people of color, for how to kind of go through it? You went through, performing arts school and, where you are now, performing on stages, actually touring around the country. Can you talk about some maybe tips you could share?
Yeah, definitely. I would say one of my tips would be to insert yourself into spaces for the performing arts that you're not currently in. I know that Black folk have a tendency to be in our own suburbs with our own cliques and our own friends, and we listen to our music, we do our Afrobeat thing, we do our thing. And if you want to be part of the Australian music industry, entertainment industry, we're not quite there with the diversity piece. And so it's up to us to kind of slam through those doors. So ways you can do that is I would get myself an agent. I would get myself an agent that works within the Australian industry, or a manager, someone who can represent you, who has connections to the industry as a whole, whether it be, casting for film and TV, or music theatre with the briefs and all of that kind of thing. In the music industry, you just need to have your connection in. So getting representation, and inserting yourself in spaces. So attending schools, if you're a dancer, like going to classes where there's a close relationship between the dance school and casting for new things that are happening. Like in Sydney, there's Brent Street. In Melbourne, there's a few of them, the Space, Ministry of Dance, like getting connected with schools that have connections within the industry. You need to be part of it to even know what's going on, and in the first place, because yeah, I think that the industry doesn't always do a great job of going into our communities to find the people. So I can say you go to them. And that's what I did. I went to a music art school, and from there it was very easy to take some steps forward into the industry. I would also say working on your craft. Don't rely on talent alone. I don't think that's enough anymore. I think that talent is great, but I think that your skill, your work ethic, your determination, your mindset and your breadth of skills. So not just having one thing is very important. So if you're primarily a singer, maybe go get some acting classes to go with it. If you're a dancer, get some singing lessons so that you can be seriously considered for musical theatre. Try and get a few extra skills under your belt. But don't rely on your talent and your gift. I don't think it's enough.
Ruva, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show, and all the best for the rest of the year here in Sydney and for the rest of your tour with the musical.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm really excited. This is my first podcast. I hope it's good.
It has been great.